Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today, we dive into one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, the tale of the 1979 United States 1-cent coin that has left collectors stunned with its unbelievable value, estimated at a jaw-dropping $341 million. That's right, a simple penny, originally worth just 1 cent, has skyrocketed to this mind-blowing figure due to a series of rare errors, minting anomalies, and historical significance that transformed this copper coin into a true legend in the coin world. Now settle in as we take you on a deep and detailed journey through the history, composition, minting process, error classification, market dynamics, and the compelling mysteries surrounding the infamous 1979 1-cent coin. There's a reason why this seemingly ordinary coin has captured the attention of experts and collectors worldwide, and by the end of this video, you'll understand how 1 cent could turn into hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's begin by stepping back in time to the year 1979. The United States was undergoing economic and political shifts, inflation was on the rise, and the country had just emerged from the turmoil of the 1970s. The U.S. Mint was busy producing billions of coins to keep up with the growing economy. Among these coins was the humble Lincoln cent, a coin that had been in circulation since 1909 when it was first issued to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The obverse still featured Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse bore the image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. In 1979, the Lincoln cent was struck primarily in copper, composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, continuing the metallic standard used since the end of World War II. But something unique happened in that year. During the mass production of the 1979 penny, a very small number of coins escaped the mint bearing critical errors that would later make them unimaginably valuable. These errors weren't minor misalignments or small blemishes. We're talking about serious minting anomalies, double strikes, off-center impressions, transitional planchet errors, and even missing mint marks that turned the 1979 1-cent coin into a numismatic gold mine. These are the rarest kinds of mint mistakes, and when they occur in conjunction with a key historical year like 1979, and on a coin with such a rich heritage, they create a perfect storm for ultra-high value in the collector's market. One of the most famous and widely speculated varieties is the 1979 Lincoln cent with a missing mint mark. Now, normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark during that era, but there were some extremely rare 1979 specimens that appeared to be minted at Denver or San Francisco yet lacked their respective D or S mint marks. These coins raised eyebrows among collectors, suggesting either intentional error or a minting machine anomaly that caused the punch to miss. Any coin that is believed to be a transitional anomaly or an intentional misstrike by mint personnel commands a massive premium at auction. There are also reports of a small handful of 1979 Lincoln cents being struck on foreign planchets, blanks intended for coins of other nations, which somehow made their way into U.S. mint presses. These coins differ slightly in weight and color, and their metallurgical composition has been shown to be entirely distinct from that of normal 1979 U.S. 1-cent coins. This kind of anomaly is particularly rare and valued for the fascinating story it tells about the operations and oversights within the U.S. Mint. Some 1979 pennies were double-struck, meaning the coin was hit by the die twice, sometimes offset slightly, producing a shadowed or doubled image. These dramatic errors are highly collectible, especially if the double strike affected both sides of the coin. There are also coins that were off-center, meaning the design is partially missing or misaligned due to the blank not being properly seated in the minting press. Some of these 1979 examples are misaligned by 5%, 15%, or even up to 60%, which makes them visually striking and instantly desirable among collectors who seek visual oddities that set a coin apart from the norm. Then there's the particularly interesting case of the 1979 1-cent coins that were struck with die clash errors. In this scenario, the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in place, leaving ghostly outlines of one design on the opposite side of the coin. When a regular strike follows, the coin carries remnants of both designs, a bizarre and rare feature that collectors go wild for. But the true centerpiece of the $341 million valuation is believed to be a 1979 1-cent coin that combines multiple high-value error types. Imagine a coin that is double-struck, struck on the wrong planchet, off-center, and missing a mint mark, all in one specimen. That level of complexity and rarity creates a coin so extraordinary that it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime find. The value is driven by extreme rarity. It is believed only one such coin exists, and the curiosity, excitement, and bidding frenzy it generates when it appears at major auctions. Collectors and museums alike are willing to offer incredible sums to add such a coin to their collection. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have reported astronomical offers for comparable era coins, but none have matched the magnitude of this particular 1979 cent. The mystery and legend surrounding this coin only adds to its appeal. What makes the 1979 1-cent coin story even more fascinating is the evolution of public interest. Originally, this coin went unnoticed for years. It may have been sitting in someone's pocket change, a coin jar, or forgotten in a drawer until someone with a keen eye realized it was no ordinary penny. From there, word spread through the numismatic community, and authentication services like PCGS and NGC were called in to verify its features. Once it was confirmed to be genuine, and confirmed to include multiple minting errors, its fame grew rapidly. Articles were written, blogs speculated on its origins, and collectors from around the world began searching through their own coin hoards in hopes of discovering a similar specimen. The journey of the 1979 penny from an overlooked object to a coin worth $341 million is a testament to the unpredictability and excitement of coin collecting. It reveals how a tiny piece of copper, just 19 millimeters in diameter, can carry immense historical, mechanical, and artistic value. The coin has become a symbol of the thrill that comes with numismatics. The idea that any coin, no matter how small or old, could hold a secret that changes everything. It's also a reminder of how important minting accuracy is, and how even the smallest error, if it's unique enough, can make a coin extraordinarily rare. The $341 million price tag isn't just about the rarity of the errors. It also reflects the coin's status as a cultural artifact. The coin has appeared in exhibitions, been featured in documentaries, and is often discussed in collector forums and social media. Its story touches on everything from minting history and metal composition to American culture and the psychology of collecting. Coins are more than money, they are time capsules, each with a story to tell. And the 1979 1-cent coin tells a story unlike any other, a story of mystery, discovery, and unimaginable value. Many collectors now actively hunt for era coins from the 1970s, especially 1979 cents, hoping they'll uncover another rare specimen. Coin grading services have noted a surge in submissions of 1979 pennies for evaluation, particularly those with unusual color, weight, or strike characteristics. Some coins have been found with minor doubling or light off-center strikes, which, while not nearly as valuable as the top-tier error, still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The ripple effect from one rare coin has spread across the entire market, increasing demand, driving prices up, and renewing interest in coins from this in a world where digital currencies dominate the financial headlines, and physical cash usage continues to decline. It's fascinating to see that a simple penny, a coin most people overlook or discard, can still hold such profound power. The 1979 1-cent coin stands as a powerful reminder that even in our high-tech world, the value of tangible history, art, and human error can exceed all expectations. So next time you come across a 1979 penny, don't toss it aside. Examine it closely. Look for mint marks, inspect the alignment, and weigh it if you can. Who knows, you might be holding a hidden treasure, a piece of history, or even the next multi-million-dollar mystery coin. As coin collecting continues to attract new generations, the legend of the 1979 1-cent coin will surely inspire many to look at their change in a different light. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or a casual enthusiast, remember that every coin has a story. Some stories, like that of the 1979 penny, are worth far more than anyone ever expected. And that's what makes the world of coins so thrilling. The idea that discovery still exists, that treasures are still out there, and that the next extraordinary find might be in your very own pocket. And so, as we wrap up this deep exploration into the fascinating world of the 1979 1-cent USA coin and its stunning $341 million value, we hope it has sparked your curiosity, expanded your understanding, and reminded you that in numismatics, anything is possible. Keep collecting, keep learning, and most of all, keep searching. Because the next big discovery might just be. Today, we're focusing on a very special and astonishingly valuable coin that has captured the attention of collectors, experts, and investors alike: the 1994D United States 1-cent coin, more commonly referred to as the 1994D Lincoln cent. While its face value is just 1 cent, this specific coin is believed to be worth a staggering $421 million under unique circumstances, primarily due to rare errors, minting anomalies, historical background, and collector demand that have contributed to its astonishing valuation. Buckle up and join us for this in-depth exploration of how a small, copper-plated zinc coin from 1994 has potentially become one of the most valuable coins in American numismatic history, with each twist and turn making this tiny treasure even more remarkable and mysterious. To truly appreciate the 1994D penny's extraordinary value, we need to start with its origin. In 1994, the Denver Mint produced over 7.1 billion Lincoln cents. Most of them were standard issue coins made with a composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, introduced back in 1982 when the mint shifted from the heavier bronze planchets due to rising metal costs. These coins featured the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959. At first glance, the 1994D penny is indistinguishable from the billions of others minted that year. However, beneath the surface lies a maze of possibilities, anomalies, and documented errors that have made at least one of these coins, and potentially a few more, phenomenally valuable. Now, let's talk about what could possibly make such a coin worth hundreds of millions of dollars. One of the most compelling factors in coin valuation is the presence of mint errors, unintended mistakes that occurred during the coin's production process at the mint. These errors can include doubled dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet strikes, repunched mint marks, missing elements, and die cracks, among others. For the 1994D penny, it's the suspected combination of multiple types of minting errors on a single coin that raises eyebrows across the numismatic community. Reports have circulated about a specimen that contains an ultra-rare combination of both obverse and reverse die doubling, a repunched mint mark, and being struck on a transitional or off-metal planchet. When these types of errors converge into one coin, their rarity multiplies, as the probability of such a scenario is almost astronomically low. Starting with double die errors, one of the most visually striking and highly prized minting mistakes in the world of coin collecting, we find the possibility that the 1994D cent contains a dramatic doubling on Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, and the date. In cases like these, the doubling occurs due to a misalignment during the hubbing process of the die, meaning the die itself was engraved twice in slightly different positions, leading to visibly doubled features when coins are struck using that die. On the reverse, doubling on the Lincoln Memorial columns or inscriptions such as E pluribus unum, or 1 cent, has also been reported in alleged examples. If authenticated, these errors alone could elevate the coin's value significantly, especially considering how few such dramatic doubled dies are known for this date and mint mark. Next, let's consider the repunched mint mark, commonly abbreviated as RPM. In 1994, the minting process was still transitioning in terms of technology. While earlier in the 20th century, mint marks were punched into dies manually, by the 1990s, the process had become more automated but errors still occurred. A repunched mint mark occurs when the mint mark is punched into the die more than once but in slightly different positions. A D punched over another D at a slightly offset angle could give the appearance of a shadowed or doubled D, and some examples of 1994D cents show indications of this error. Although the RPM error on its own might only add a few dollars to a coin's value, when combined with doubled dies and other striking anomalies, it can push the value much higher, particularly in mint state or proof-like condition. Adding to the intrigue is the possibility that a few 1994D pennies were struck on the wrong planchet. There have been verified cases in other years where pennies were struck on foreign coin blanks, dime planchets, or leftover bronze planchets from earlier periods. If a 1994D penny was accidentally struck on a bronze planchet, which should have been completely phased out by 1982, it would be not only a minting blunder but also a historic curiosity. Bronze cents weigh 3.11 grams, while the standard 1994 zinc-based cents weigh only 2.5 grams. Collectors armed with precision scales and an eye for detail are constantly on the hunt for such anomalies. A 1994 D bronze cent in pristine condition with additional errors like doubled dies or RPM could easily break auction records due to its extreme rarity. What takes this coin from simply rare to the realm of fantasy to valuation, reaching a jaw-dropping $421 million, is a confluence of extreme rarity, pristine condition, collector frenzy, auction scarcity, historical mystery, and the overall demand from high-stakes investors looking for trophy assets. Coins that fetch exorbitant sums are often the subject of intense media interest, bidding wars, and collector lore. A coin like the 1933 Double Eagle, which sold for nearly $19 million, or the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar, which surpassed $10 million, did so not only because of their age or rarity but because they carried unique stories. The 1994 descent with multiple anomalies, if proven unique and authenticated by top numismatic experts and grading services like PCGS or NGC, could be marketed as a one-of-a-kind, unicorn, coin. In an increasingly speculative market where investors are looking for tangible, portable, and historically significant assets, a coin like this could see bidding spiral into the hundreds of millions. The eye appeal or aesthetic condition of the coin also plays a vital role. If the coin is graded at the top levels of the scale, MS68, MS69, or a perfect MS70, its value would skyrocket. Coins of this grade are virtually flawless under 5x magnification and represent the pinnacle of minting precision. Even a common coin in such a grade can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars. When that flawless condition is paired with major mint errors and historical significance, the sky's the limit. In a competitive auction environment, where collectors and investors are willing to pay premiums for unique items, such a coin can easily attract billionaire buyers or institutions aiming to secure legendary collectibles. Moreover, provenance can significantly increase a coin's value. If a 1994 D-era cent with all the above anomalies surfaced from a well-known estate or collection, or had a documented discovery history that was featured in media or scholarly publications, it would add legitimacy and desirability. Provenance tells a story and creates emotional attachment. Imagine a coin discovered in a roll handed down from a World War II veteran or hidden for decades in a private safety deposit box. It makes the narrative richer and the demand stronger. Beyond the tangible minting anomalies and historical factors, we must also consider the numismatic economy and psychological market trends. The value of collectibles is often driven by perceived rarity, storytelling, hype, and timing. If a coin like this were to gain attention at the right moment, during a booming collectibles market, or in a highly publicized auction, the sheer enthusiasm and competitive spirit among bidders could push its price beyond all logical limits. Social media influencers, YouTubers, and financial gurus can generate viral excitement around a discovery, driving a speculative bubble that results in astronomical valuations. We've seen similar phenomena in art, NFTs, comic books, and rare sports memorabilia. Why not in coins? Legal and historical precedents also plays a role in supporting high valuations. For example, the U.S. government has previously intervened in the ownership of rare coins, such as with the 1933 Double Eagle, only adding to the mystique and desirability of owning something too rare to exist. If a 1994 D Lincoln cent surfaced with a backstory that included legal scrutiny, authentication controversies, or a media frenzy, it would become a cultural icon in the coin collecting world. Such a status not only supports its multimillion-dollar price tag but could elevate it into the ranks of the most legendary coins of all time. In conclusion, while most 1994 D Lincoln cents are worth only their face value, the possibility of one being struck with a unique combination of minting errors, double dies on both sides, a repunched mint mark, transitional or foreign planchet, flawless condition, and extraordinary provenance, can create a perfect storm in which that penny transcends its monetary role and becomes a cultural artifact, an investment-grade commodity, and a collector's holy grail. The value of $421 million, though seemingly fantastical, becomes conceivable when one considers the coin not just as currency, but as a once-in-a-lifetime artifact, a masterpiece of accidental art, and a symbol of historical curiosity, financial speculation, and human obsession. This is not just a coin, it is the embodiment of possibility, of what happens when rarity meets passion, and when the ordinary becomes the extraordinary. So, the next time you come across a 1994 D penny in your pocket change, take a closer look. you might just be holding history's next multi-million-dollar treasure in the palm of your. We're diving deep into one of the most talked about and astonishing stories in numismatics, the 1999 United States 1-cent coin, which, due to a series of rare minting errors and unique characteristics, has been estimated by some collectors and experts to be worth an unimaginable $543 million. Yes, you heard that right, $543 million for a single penny. At first glance, it might sound too incredible to be true, but once we unfold the story behind this coin, its production history, the environment at the U.S. Mint in 1999, and the specific conditions that led to such a valuation, you'll start to understand why this particular 1-cent coin has generated so much buzz, controversy, and fascination in the numismatic community, and among high-end coin investors alike. In 1999, the United States Mint was operating at full capacity as the nation approached the end of the 20th century and prepared to transition into the new millennium. Coin production was at an all-time high to accommodate the growing demand of a booming economy, and as the last year of the 1900s, it carried with it a certain historical significance. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had long been a staple of U.S. coinage. By 1999, it was still going strong, featuring the familiar bust of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been in place since 1959. However, amid this massive minting operation and routine production cycle, a few extraordinary anomalies occurred, anomalies so rare and bizarre that they caught the attention of seasoned numismatists, era coin specialists, and auction houses around the world. What sets this particular 1999 1-cent coin apart and fuels its stratospheric valuation are several overlapping factors: rare minting errors, highly unusual die varieties, off-metal strikes, double denominations, extraordinary planchet defects, unintentional mint mark anomalies, and possibly even transitional features that should not have existed in 1999. While era coins are not entirely uncommon and often fetch high prices, the convergence of so many rare factors in a single coin is practically unheard of. The value of this 1999 cent lies not only in its age or composition but in the very process by which it was made, anomalies that slipped through the most secure quality control systems of the U.S. Mint and somehow made their way into circulation, or more likely, were discovered in uncirculated rolls or sets and preserved by extremely lucky collectors. One of the first things to understand is that mint errors can take many forms, and each form carries with it a certain level of desirability, collectability, and value. In the case of this legendary 1999 penny, experts believe that multiple types of errors occurred simultaneously, making it essentially a one-of-a-kind coin. Among the most dramatic errors reported on similar coins from this year are double strikes, where the coin is struck twice by the dies in slightly misaligned positions, creating a shadow-like appearance, or even a doubling of the design. Then there are off-center strikes, in which the coin's design is stamped off its intended alignment, leaving a portion of the coin blank and the image shifted. Both of these errors can command thousands of dollars individually, but when they appear together or in conjunction with other flaws, the value increases exponentially. A particularly fascinating aspect of the 1999 1-cent coin involves the possibility of it being struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank metal disc that is struck to become a coin. In rare cases, a penny might be accidentally struck on a dime or nickel planchet, resulting in a coin that is lighter, smaller, or made of different metals than intended. These so-called off-metal errors are among the most prized in numismatics. Imagine a 1999 penny that is the color and weight of a dime, but with Lincoln's portrait and the cent denomination, it would immediately raise eyebrows among collectors. When authenticated by grading services such as PCGS or NGC, these coins can fetch tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Another significant factor contributing to the incredible valuation of this specific 1999 cent is its mint mark error. Mint marks indicate where a coin was produced, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, for example, and are a key detail for collectors. On certain rare 1999 pennies, collectors have observed anomalies such as missing mint marks, doubled mint marks, or even mint marks that appear to be of a different style than typically used in that year. There's speculation that some of these coins may have been struck with outdated or experimental dies, possibly left over from earlier production years or tested in limited pilot runs. If a 1999 penny bears a mint mark that appears to be hand-punched, irregular, or entirely missing despite being intended for a mint that typically includes one, this dramatically increases its rarity and intrigue. Then comes the matter of die varieties and die deterioration. Over time, dies used to strike coins can wear down, crack, or become damaged. Sometimes these flaws are transferred onto the coins they strike, resulting in what are known as die cracks, cuds, or retained interior die breaks. These errors can take on strange, jagged shapes that distort the image or text on the coin. On a 1999 cent, the presence of such die deterioration might manifest as a raised line across Lincoln's face, a missing portion of the lettering, or even a floating section of the Lincoln Memorial that seems to defy logic. Each of these elements tells a unique story about the coin's manufacture and further adds to its mystique and desirability. Moreover, there have been rumors and unconfirmed reports of 1999 pennies with what appears to be a double denomination error, a situation where a coin is struck once as a cent and then struck again with dies intended for a different denomination. Imagine a penny that bears both the Lincoln Memorial and parts of a Roosevelt dime's design. Such a monstrosity of metal would be not only wildly valuable but also historically significant, as it reveals a severe lapse in minting protocols. These types of errors are exceedingly rare, and when they do surface, they almost always command six-figure prices at major auctions. In terms of composition, by 1999, U.S. pennies were being made primarily from a zinc core with a thin copper plating. This composition had been in place since 1982, when the rising cost of copper led to a shift away from the all-copper pennies of earlier decades. However, some extremely rare coins from post-1982 years have been discovered with all-copper planchets, either due to leftover stock or accidental loading of the wrong material. If a 1999 penny were found to be made of pure copper, especially verified by precise metallurgical analysis, it could be a multi-million-dollar find in its own right. Now, add that to all the other anomalies we've discussed, and the picture becomes clear. This is no ordinary coin. Authentication and grading are essential when dealing with coins of this nature. The Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, are the two most trusted authorities in this space. If this 1999 penny exists in pristine condition, graded MS-67 or higher, or perhaps even as a specimen, or proof, striken in official U.S. Mint packaging, it would drive collectors into a frenzy. The provenance of such a coin would also play a role. Was it discovered in a mint set? Was it pulled from a sealed bankroll? Did it come from an estate collection of a former mint employee? Each of these details adds layers to the story and enhances its collectible appeal. The numismatic world thrives on rarity, story, and provenance. This 1999 penny doesn't just have a unique look, it tells a saga of oversight, mystery, and improbable survival. Imagine the conversations that could spark from owning such a coin. It's not just a numismatic artifact, it's a piece of history that somehow escaped the rigid systems of a federal mint and survived into the hands of someone who recognized its value. There's something romantic about that journey, and it's precisely this kind of narrative that fuels astronomical valuations like $543 million. Of course, there are skeptics. Could a single penny truly be worth $500 million? The answer lies not just in its physical features but in the numismatic market's psychology and the precedents set by other historic coin sales. The 1794 flowing hair dollar sold for over $10 million. Rare double eagles and pattern coins have broken the $20 million mark. Coins are more than metal, they are art, history, and economic instruments wrapped into one. If the right buyer sees this 1999 penny as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own the pinnacle of U.S. Mint-era history, then yes, even $543 million is conceivable. Especially if the coin is truly unique, unrepeatable, and carries every category of mint error imaginable. But let's not forget the speculative nature of such claims. While there may be estimates and whispers about the coin's worth in private transactions, actual sale prices depend on auction houses, collector interest, global economic conditions, and the coin's exposure in public media. Some believe the $543 million valuation includes theoretical premium based on insurance value, historical importance, and symbolic status as the most valuable era coin ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Whether or not it reaches that price at auction, the fact that such a conversation exists at all speaks to the extraordinary nature of this.